here's the project we have going for today. Well, we purchased the property and they had put a septic tank in. And, well, I'll flip it around and I'll show you. The septic, when changing some toilets out in the building, because we had a gasket issue, a closet flange wax ring issues, change out, and there was a lot of water in the pipe. Now, they hadn't buried the pipe. This wasn't, I should word it right, they did not put this in when we bought it. It was in on the vacant property. We purchased 10 acres. Simple level thrown on the pipe shows they we're going proper pitch to about there, and then from there to here was uphill. Here down, no problem, flies. So what I'm doing now is having to obviously go back through, dig all under the pipe to get the pitch. It was clear why, because everything they did around it was lazy. They all sorts of fill and concrete pieces of block and everything under there, so there's no way they were digging them out. They just went ahead and threw the pipe on there. What they had is what they had. I'd love to bring the backhoe up here, but it's just a plastic septic tank here, and the drain field is right out in here. So, plus one wrong move and the pipe's gone. So we'll dig away at it and get some proper pitch on it. We're getting there. Found it easiest basically to take, because there are a bunch of pieces of concrete. Just take a claw hammer. I'm going to just busting them right out from underneath of it. Seems to be the easiest because the shovel's just sitting dead. So we really only got to go to here. Then we should be able to adjust our pitch. And then we'll go ahead and get it all set back in and move on to actually backfilling over the top of it all, which is something they had never done, as you can see by the weeds and the grass growing in here. Alright, all dug out. We have gone back and working on pitch now. What I call it is actually stealing pitch, because from here down I had a ton of pitch. As I said, from there back we had a lot of it negative pitch. Now we have a ton, but we don't have as much in here. We're almost level, just a little bit of pitch, and the reason I had to basically what I call steal it is because it's solid teed in here, so I don't have a way to drop this, because this goes to the tank. So what I have here I'm stuck with, unless there's no way for me to go back into the tank. The tank is where it's at. So what easiest way to then set and achieve your pitch is you're going to backfill a little bit under your area. Then you go ahead and you mush it down to where your regular fill is going to push it to bottom out, and check your pitch. You're going to do that in several points across here to make sure as you fill you don't mush the pipe out of whack or achieve another pitch that you don't want. So we've got plenty. We're just going to have to do a couple more little backfills underneath here before we fill it and pin it down, but we should be in pretty good shape. Alright, we've got pitch, good pitch, all the way through. You can see what I did was, once I knew where my pitch was, what I wanted here, I've underburied, then put the weight on the top to hold it in place, and then make sure I set the rest of my tube by underburying it to support the pipe. Make sure I got proper pitch. Got good pitch on that all the way from back there. Looks a little like it may or may not, but that's because there's no dirt there and it goes down into the ground out here. I probably wouldn't even have noticed that there was incorrect pitch on this had I not taken one of the toilets off and seen the standing water. It wasn't just a little bit, it was probably a good 3 inches, no, probably 2 inches of water in the pipe, which is not what you want. People always think, same thing too, when you add it, oh, more pitch is tons of pitch. No, you don't want that. You want just enough pitch so your water is carrying all your solids away too. If you're too much pitch, your water's going to take off on you like a water slide, and it's going to leave your solids behind, and you're going to end up with clogs and other issues. So you want just enough pitch so it carries everything down and right on out for you. This is the same building that you saw me just working on the sewer pipe, the drain pipe to the septic for pitch. This building is several working bathrooms plus a working shower. The property we just purchased 10 acres. It was a working fern farm. So this building here was designed for obviously the farm workers for the bathrooms and the shower, and some were actually probably living on site. We're going to convert it over once we put a pool up in here. No, this is going to be the pool house. Obviously full bathrooms, showering as well, and lots of other room. The problem we had when we purchased it, the building constantly smelled like sewer. Couldn't figure it out. At first I was like, I just thought for sure maybe a wax ring had failed on one of the toilets because it had been vacant for several plus months in Florida, very hot. Pulled the toilets, both wax rings were pretty flattened out and beat, so I replaced them. Thought I had it beat. Nope, still smelled. So what I did was I moved on next, looking things around, and could not find a vent on the building. So thought possibly something was backing up. Over in here was just a clean out. I added the vent with the clean out to the top. The T is not glued on, that was added after the fact. Added the full vent on there. Thought I had it beat again, still same thing. So what I did was I ended up coming up with a smoke system. I know they sell them and plumbers use them, all that too. What I did was I took a small mini shop vac that I had, a little bucket head here from Depot, and then I went ahead and took the clean out off here, taped off and sealed the top of the vent, and I went ahead and closed off most of this. Got regular smoke bombs, took coffee can, go ahead, put it right here to the intake. You can actually still see some yellow here. I wouldn't suggest using probably a good shop vac for this, something, because this thing still sort of smells like the sulfur. Placed the hose into there, took this and had the intake sucking the smoke in there to give me basically a smoke test on this to see if I could figure out where everything was coming from. I had my wife on the inside watching the stalls, the shower, and to let me know what she saw. Well, we'll get to that in just a second here. So I've got her in here and I've got the stall doors open. She's looking and I'm pumping all that smoke in there. Well, she yells out, she says the building's starting to fill with smoke, but there is nothing come from those spots. She says it's coming from the ceiling. Well, I'm thinking, well, that's crazy. So I go and get a ladder, go up to the ceiling, and that's what I find. Not with the cap, of course. They put a 2-inch vent directly into the building, right there at wall level where you couldn't see it. So the septic system was venting out of that pipe right in this building, and that's why I couldn't beat it. Capped it off, was perfect since then. The T was something I did after the fact. It's not glued on there. What we're having is we're getting sewer gas smell, not in the building anymore. Depends on the winds. Drifts across the pavilion here, down across the yard, and can get pretty strong at times. I threw the T on there just to see if I could change the airflow or air pattern to it. It really hasn't done much. It's not, the vent is pretty close to the peak of this little roof. I don't think extending it a couple more feet to get it above it would make a difference. So I did spot online a charcoal canister filter system that goes on the top of these 3-inch vent pipes, and they excellent reviews. Relatively cheap. I think it was under 50 bucks, and they last 3 to 5 years, and then you just have to replace a canister in there. That's what I'm going to try, that route. Obviously I'll have some video of it, and I'll post a link to what I'm going to use below. And that's the finished product. Not anything spectacular, just rough grade out, because it's still obviously clearly a lot of work left to be done through here, but everything at least is buried for the first time and proper pitch and drains beautifully. So we'll call that done and on to the next project. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you've got anything useful out of this, informational, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also the little bell for notifications that'll let you know anytime we upload some new content. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.